Coming up on today's Retro Robin Show, we're talking your logos, your favourite 10, that's right. And of course, we're going to do a part 2 to this, the 50th edition of Crash from, of course, March 1988. You may have seen the first one. Well, there was that much good content in this one magazine this time round that I had to do a part 2. More game reviews, and of course, we're also going to talk the Play ZX app. Yeah, some of you might have had a little bit of difficulty loading off the Android phone. Well, there's a fix for that. Obviously, the Android phones don't have the big amplifiers in them to give the sort of volume that the Spectrum or the Toast Rack require. So, if you love a bit of 8-bit, then you're going to love a bit of me on the Retro Robin Show. Coming up next, join me. It's going to be a roller coaster of the show, I promise you. You probably won't enjoy it though. Or maybe you will. With that said, titles time. Hi, welcome to the Retro Robin Show. On today's show, we're going to do a top 10 list of your favourite logos. And there's no surprise what's number 1, but we're going to do it anyways. Also, we're going to do a part 2 of the 50th anniversary of Crash. Yes, that magazine had so many good reviews in it, I've had to do a second part, which is good because the first part was pretty decent as well, wasn't it? I hope it was anyways. So, what else we're going to talk about today? Yes, Play ZX. Remember the app on your mobile phone? Somebody questioned me today. Are you able to load off your phone straight into your Spectrum computer? The answer to that is yes, but it has its limitations. The limitations are, for instance, the Spectrum itself needs a really high loud volume for loading potential lots of games applications. Some it can get away with, but some of them you just can't quite hear it. Just imagine it like myself, a bit deaf. Pardon? I'll go. So we've got this little curious device in front of me called a little headphone amplifier, and I find that helps. And I'm not only going to prove that fact to you, I'm going to show you it in action, and we're going to do that right now. So first of all, we're going to open our this one is wired straight into that. I've wired it straight into my computer, no amplifier in between. We'll pick a file to load, so just excuse me a second while we focus on the main screen. So yeah, we're going to open up Play ZX, and there it is, and we turn the volume up right up to max, and that's on the phone. So now we know it's at max. We'll try and load this program, which today sorry, I'll keep looking at it down there. Back to School. So okay, so we're going to type load speech on there. There we go, so that's ready to load now, and we're going to try and load this file from my mobile phone, which is here. We'll press play there, and you can see it's loading up in the background, not quite being able to hear it, right? Even though I've got it up max, it's not quite catching it. So, I'm going to put this little device in, which is on this side. There you go, look. It's made in China. It was only about £3 max, and so now we know that can't hear it. So let's press stop on here. And we'll plug this one in. So that's the headphone. So that's got to go into here, and then I'm going to plug this into here. So there we've got effectively that, and then I'm going to turn this one up to max and watch the difference it makes. Right now, you know we stopped it, couldn't hear it quite. So obviously when you put up an application you have to turn it back up to max again, because otherwise that. Let's try now, shall we, with this. And as you can see, there's its red light, it's on full. We'll click on the big screen in a minute. I'm just going to about to press play, show you this on here. Press play, big screen, and now you can see it hears it. It's loud enough. This has amplified this because smart Android phones, they tend not to have a strong amplifications. They're only for headphones, you know, and some of the old tech used to be a lot louder, obviously. The cassette player had its own built-in amp, and it's kind of massive, really, compared to one of these. Tablets tend to be a little bit louder, some tablets, some Android tablets, but not necessarily mobile phones. So that is the solution. Get yourself one of those, and then you can load from there. And of course, it'll be a mono input and output anyways, even though it's got stereo for your headphones. It could be a useful application. And you'll have no problems loading from Play ZX. But that's that, just a quick helpful tip there for you in future. And yeah, some people say, oh, it's not about the loudness, but it is. It's all about volume. I've just reset that, of course. And let's stop that playing now, because it's not what we plan to do. We're going to review some more games from Crash, their 50th anniversary, which we're going to do now. So we're going to just alter the set, and I'll be back with you in one moment, so bear with me. So yeah, we're going to be looking again at the issue number 50, which was that one, Crash. Let's give you the big picture. Oh, actually, you're going to see it in the mirror image, of course. Oh, I need to fix my cover. The cover's coming off, but it's been coming off for nearly years. And that was 1988, so we're bringing back 1988. £1.25, as I said in the last previous episode. So let's go to the games itself, and there was a few more games I actually wanted to review in this, so I thought, why not do a part 2? Oh, sorry, just knocked my AY sound off there a bit, but like a bit of background music. So let's review 5 more games from this before we move on to what you consider your favourite logo. And I've got a few logos in the back there, I don't know if you can see them. Let's just move my little head out of the way. Watch this for the magic of it. Look, there we go. We got Gremlin, Ultimate, Imagine, Bug Bite, one of my favourites, Bug Bite, Ocean, and The Edge. I ought to move everything around, haven't I? Put myself back. Magic of editing, eh? So, zooming in onto the big screen a little bit so you can see what it is today that we're talking about. Tell you what, my camera system's not very straight lately, is it, eh? So the first game of today we're going to go for is ATF. It's retailed at $9.95, so it wasn't a bad price. The presentation was 87%, graphics was 92%, playability 85%, addictive quality is 85%, so its overall rating was 89%, so it was only 1% off a Crash Smash. And if you notice, I don't review the Crash Smashes, because once they're given that golden label of a Crash Smash, they're not for me to say that they wasn't, so they're sort of set in stone in history. So let's have a look at this game first of all. And I'm just going to kill this music again, because I believe this has the sound. And let's just load it up from the Z80 file. And there's the loading screen and the game itself. It's a bit of everything. This is a bit of a strategy game as well as a fighting game. So yeah, you have to... it's pretty good. It's pretty well done. I quite enjoyed it, so I can see why. Quite a loud AY sound coming from the television today. Might have to speak up a bit. So we're going to press space and we can select the controls, and we're going to go for... what are we going to go for? Yeah, we'll go for the interface to us. I've got it plugged in the side. And today's computer of choice is the Omni 128, once again wired up via a SCART lead. Yeah, we've done that. What are you giving them there for? Towards the television, or shall we say monitor in this case, for my viewing pleasure, and your viewing pleasure too. So let's have a look at the game. It takes a few minutes. It has to work out its little data. Analysing user data, and there's a little map of the different missions you've got to do, and I like the way that it does that. And you've got all those different things to status. Everything's kind of green there as you start off. So then you've got to choose, as you can see, you've got weight limit rather than a cache, and you choose what what you're going to equip your plane with. And I tend to go for lots of fuel, attack missiles, magazines, till you use all your and that's it, I'm all used up. So we press fire to play, and this is the game. And if you can see I'm flying towards the dots, you can see the hillies there. And any minute now, there you go. Well, that was lucky, I've got him just in time. I'm flying back around to see if I can catch him. And I've dished it in the water. So let's leave it at that. What do we reckon of that? Well, they gave it an 89%, which is effectively 9 out of 10. Not quite a crash smash or whatever. I must admit I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it that much. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for this one. So that's worth trying. If you haven't seen it before, give it a go. ATF. Shall we move on to the next game? Indeed we shall. So I keep knocking my camera, and I want you to see a decent sized picture today, so I do apologise for that. So that was that one, and we're going to move on to the next game today, which we're going to call, go straight down to my files. Let's have a look. I'll tell you a little bit about this game, shall we? It is, of course, Tetris. I've got highlighted there. And this had $7.99 retail price, but it was also available on the disc at $12.99. So what did they say about it? Crash gave this a 79% presentation. Graphics, they gave it 67%, and then of course playability 79%. Addictive quality is also 79%, but its overall rating was only 70%, which is, for Tetris, we'll go for the we can go for the 128K file, shall we, and load that one up. Just stop the AY sound again. We don't want AY clash, do we? There's your loading screen. Nice bit of presentation, big colourful Tetris sign there. Mirrorsoft. There's a logo I haven't got stuck up yet. I'll have to stick that up on my set soon as I possibly can. And we'll select the easy level. I'm going for 0 because I'm rubbish. And you all know what Tetris is about. Place your blocks, and of course it's, the keys are I, O and P, and I don't think you've got a fast key, unfortunately. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to slot that in there before it hits the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's not a bad game. It's quite colourful. Definitely prefer the 128K AY sound as opposed to the Spectrum, which is just like the blocks itself. But yeah, I think we've all played Tetris, and so they gave that a 77%. Oh, I've made a mistake here, haven't I? I've just messed up. Never mind, that's what Tetris is about. But I'm going to get my first line on, my first score on the board. It tells you the keys is there. Oh. If you press space, you can go down quick, look. So, oh, you can line it up, press space, it drops it fast. So I don't know why I've done it that way. And probably it's a bit sensitive on the space, so as soon as you press it, it drops it almost immediately. And if you ain't careful, you've pressed it for the next one as well. And I'm absolutely done really well there. Done really well, haven't I? Well, I wasn't trying to complete it. And your name? How many letters you can let me allow? I knew it. Wouldn't let me put my full name in. Okay, so let's give that a rating, shall we? 77%. Well, you know what, Crash, I'm not going to argue with that, but I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 as well. It is what it is. It's a good fun game, and yeah, it's worth trying. So we move on to the next game. Indeed we shall. Let's just reset this. Get my AY sound back on. So the next game, before I show it, yeah, presentation was given 82%, of course, and Graphics was given 79%, playability 65%, as well as addictive qualities, which also got 65%. Overall rating 66%. So what game are we talking about? Well, we are talking about Road Wars. Should I tell you a bit more? Publisher Melbourne House, I normally tell you that, and it retailed at $8.99. And there it is. Not bad, isn't it? And you can see what you've got to do here. Right, we're going to go free for controls. Should we define the keys? Yes, indeed we shall. And I love the games, as you all know by now, where you can redefine your keys, because then you can choose whatever is quite happy with you. Unfortunately, this game asks you if you want to redefine for play 2. Well, not really, I don't. Space returns. One player, thank you. Press 5 to start. Curiously, you become a ball, roll round, you've got to nudge him off, shall we say. And if you hold down, you can twist your turret. Just fire at things at will. Get off. Try and hit those balls actually and score. Once you hit enough of them, the screen colour will change, the level will change. So I'll just shoot him. Don't get anything then? No. It's pretty decent scrolling. It's not great graphics, but it isn't the worst. If you press up, obviously, that's how you roll by pressing forwards. Press down, and if you hold down, you can rotate your gun left and right, which is novel, but yeah, it's pretty good. Die, Paul. Gets a little bit harder because you have to you get sort of beams on the next level or whatever, and they're pretty hard to avoid. Anyway, so what do we think of that one? Well, 66% seems such a low rating. I'm about to fall off the edge there. I think it's better than that. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's one to give it a go. It's a little bit tricky to understand what to do to start with, but it's not, you know, it is what it is, and you can see that it's pretty well done. A little bit of colour at the top there. Unfortunately, it lets itself down in the sound department. It could have better sound than that, but then this might have been before the AY sound, so without no further ado, let's move on to the next game, and probably the penultimate game for today. So we've done ATF, now let's make it the final game, because we all want to know what we finished as your top 10 favourite logos, don't we? So this game is one I've hacked in the past. I can't remember if I did it on part 1, I don't think I did, that's why I've come back to it. And the game we're talking about is Scumball. So it's actually a decent game, it's quite tricky. What did Crash Magazine rate Scumball? Well, it was available at a budget price. Bulldog was the producer, which is an unusual name, not heard them very often, and the retail price was £1.99. Ooh, that was pretty good, but you wouldn't want to record over this one for the cheap cassette, I tell you. Presentation 85%, graphics 87%, playability 79%, addictive quality 75%, so its overall rating was 81%. And what do we think of it? Well, I love this game, to be quite honest. I find it quite tricky. You get to redefine your keys as well. And jump. Oh. And report. So now we've got the control. I think it doesn't have much sound. It's silent as they come. No way, why sound? Right, let's have a look at it to start the game. It's a bit like Starquake and all those type of games, you know, except you're more of a spring. And let's try again. There you go. Oh, I've gone to report, haven't I? Yeah, okay. So, fire at everything you will. You need your battery, of course. Oh. I forget, if you press report, you keep leaving the screen. So it's quite colourful, decent sized map. Most things have oh, you want that up there, so I've got to get that somehow. Nice sprites, yeah, and you need to collect various batteries definitely, because you need the energy. If you don't click those, your energy runs out, you die pretty quickly. But good thing is that the little baddies you've got in this don't exactly kill you if you run into them. I'll get 1,000 points. Okay, colourful laddies. Yeah, I like this game. I've played this loads. I like the size of the map and the things that you have to do, and it's yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Starquake and one or two others games similar on this. Obviously, I think Starquake was first. So what we're going to rate that at? I'll tell you what. I'm going to give it a decent rating, because I'm going to give that a full-on 9 out of 10. Spectrum gave it, well, they gave it 81%, so I've gone one better. I've gone a 9 out of 10. So, moving on to the main item of today, and let's put a demo on, shall we? So, let's have a look at your favourite logos. Let's run a demo in the background just for good effect. So we'll start with a few honourable mentions, ones that didn't quite make the grade, but they were far off, and there was a fair few of them, and I do apologise if these are your favourites. Hell, I can only count what's put in front of me. Thank you for everybody for Spectrum Forever, Spectrum for Everyone, and one or two of the other groups for taking part and nominating your votes. It's very kind of you. So let's give the honourable mentions out. At number 15, not 15 really, because it was sort of joint plays with a few of them. We're going to give this one an honourable mention. Was Micro Gwen, Margot Glenn, if you like, as my friends used to say. We also had an honourable mention for Melbourne House. Bug Bite, one of my favourites. I mean, there's a logo up there. I love the little graphic, and they did Turmoil, didn't they, Bug Bite? What a game that was. Also, honourable mention for Special Effects Software Projects. Remember that on Jet Set Willy, that flashing? Yeah, it's pretty good, that was, wasn't it? And The Edge. Also, just narrowly missing out from the top 10 was Mastertronic. Yeah, so we've got a few honourable mentions out, so let's go straight to your top 10. Without sounding like Bruno Brooks on Radio 1 and a big run down. Starting at number 10, Dynamic with 4 votes, which was, yeah, just narrowly missed out. Number 9, and that had 6 votes, and we're going up by the amount of votes counted, and you'll see why number 1 is number 1 in a minute, was US Gold. Pegasus, number 8 with 7 votes. Don't know if I've said that right. It's spelled PSYGNOSIS, and that had a total of 7 votes. And in 7th place, we got a joint. I couldn't separate them, and I wasn't going to give it a casting vote and put one above the other, because they're both as equally as good. Codemasters and Sega both were mentioned 10 times. Number 6, again, we got 2 I've had to put in the same place. Unfortunately, you can't separate these. They're all pretty good, these logos, all very iconic, but whether you consider one better than the other, that's down to you to say, and not for me. Number 6 was, in joint place, Firebird and Houston, which also had 11 points. Shows you 11 points. 11 people mentioned each one of those. So yeah, there was quite a few people took part into this, and I appreciate that, thank you very much. So now we're going to get into the big top 5. And one of my favourites as well, at number 5 with 18 mentions was Gremlin and Gremlin Graphics. I've sort of put them as the same place, so yeah, I like Gremlin. Did some quality games, didn't they, Gremlin Graphics? I mean, off the top of my head, when I'm put on the spot, I can't think of them, but if I wasn't recording right now, I could probably name about 20, 30 like that. Number 4, and this is where we're getting quite a leap in people voting. 18 was quite a leap, but number 4, for 30 people mentioned it. Imagine! Yes, the rock stars of the software company that hired a chopper and spent a lot of money that they hadn't actually earned. Also the subject of a BBC programme, wasn't they? And that guy did his best there to say we was doing really well when there was a lot of board coders in the background. I remember that. Nostalgia Nerd, and also Nostalgia Nerd, and Kim Justice did a good documentary on Imagine. That was brilliant. I enjoyed that. Number 3, thought this was going to be close to the top. I sort of predicted what was going to be number 1, just because of the amount of iconic games. But at number 3, with 36 votes, and it beat Imagine into there by 6 votes, was Ultimate Play the Game. Imagine was the name of the game, wasn't it? Imagine, the name of the game. Ultimate Play the Game. Yeah, I love that. What a cracking logo that is. I mean, you can probably barely see it in the view in the background there, but I've got that there. It's on my TV as well, as a little printed sticker. So, at number 2, with 37 votes, and it's just beat Ultimate by 1 vote. Or shall we say 1 mention? That mentions more than votes, because we can't really pick a favourite. Or can we? Yeah, we did, didn't we? Elite! Oh, yes. I liked it when it sort of that. I think it was on Commando when I first saw the word Elite, and it was sort of rotating around. And of course they've done a phenomenal few games. A couple of booby ones as well, but a majority of their games were memorable. Remember, Commando was probably one of my favourites of theirs. Yeah. I don't need to tell you what number 1 is, because it smashed it. I mean, it blew it away. It almost doubled the votes of what anything else had, and it might be for games such as RoboCop, and if I haven't given it away now, then you're not a real Spectrum fan. Ocean. 78, and not the record of a speed of an old record. No, 78 different mentions over the different social networks for Spectrum, and of course for Commodore as well. They joined in a little bit as well. We're all friends now, aren't we? I'm not burning Guy Fawkes, I'm burning Commodore. I'm not really. I'm trying to buy one, but unfortunately my bid just got outbid. Yeah, I want to do a bit on Commodore as well as Spectrum, just to be a bit more fair. And after all, you know, these are the retro years that we all love and remember. So yes, your number 1 was Ocean, and probably deservedly so. And I've had it on the back there for a long time because I knew that was going to win, because everybody was going to sell Ocean. Personally, it is what it is. I mean, I love the colour of Ultimate. Ultimate had a decent sized logo in the corner, it was always there. Ocean had a few different designs, didn't they? And yeah, good. So there we go, and that was the Retro Robin Show. And if you enjoyed it, as always, please remember to subscribe, like and share it, and I'll do a few more shows in the future for you. Obviously I like to do a couple on Friday and one over the weekend. Hope you enjoyed it, and depending on when you watch this video, please have a good working week or weekend. If you're on furlough, don't worry, there are good times ahead. 2021 is looming just over the horizon, and I believe that things will get better. You've got to believe, and it will come true. That's what I've always been told, a positive state of mind. But for me, Wayne Retro Robbins, can I just say thank you for watching, thank you for taking part in any survey they've put on there. Take care, and bye for now. On today's Retro Robin Show, we're going to be talking your top 10 titles and a few honourable mentions. We're also going to be going with... That's one for the outtakes. That's my 5th attempt. I keep... Retro Robin. Oops.